2-week Christmas hiatus. It's time once again. It's Monday, 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. My homeboy Jeff Belknap in the studio with me.
What's up, man?
That means it's time for another installment of Southern Nevada Sports News on VegasAllNetRadio.com. Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. On the board, we have the Bobcat himself. How are you, Bobcat?
Good afternoon, sir. I'm hanging in there, and, we were discussing a little bit of the NFL. You're kicking, man?
Yeah.
You're kicking?
I think that kind of sums it up. Are you really kicking?
Somebody call up to the tower. Did he really say that?
Video John with us, as always, handling the video camera. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. I hope everybody had an enjoyable Christmas holiday.
Yeah, I wasn't here.
Okay, yeah. I think that kind of
It's a good place to be.
Yeah.
Not here.
It was relatively quiet. Mine was, spent time with Mom.
Yep.
She cooked, watched a lot of basketball.
Yep. A lot of basketball,
Nodded off.
especially on Saturday. Or on Friday.
On Friday. Nodded off, and then woke up and then ate dessert. I think that was pretty much kind of the routine for most of the day.
So none of the teams covered on Christmas.
Isn't that amazing?
And me being a betting man, I had to take at least one team that would have covered or not covered, but
Yeah.
yeah, it was bad news.
Our prognosticator, residential prognosticator himself, Jeff Belknap, Jeff the Greek.
Yeah.
And
I had
of course,
a rough week.
Yeah. Well, stay tuned for his picks, folks, because
Right.
normally you've been on
Pretty.
fire.
I'm still solid, but
Yeah.
had a rough week.
All right. Well, like I say, you've got. I will say this: as far as the NFL, if you thought that the playoff picture was a little bit more clear, it's not.
Right.
In fact, it's more muddier than ever. Our call-in line, folks, 702-483-4444. If you'd like to call in and talk about all things Southern Nevada sports related, as well as Vegas Lions football, of course, which is near and dear to our heart. But this is what the show is all about, Southern Nevada sports. Again, 702-483-4444. And for all things Vegas football Lions related, go to our website, thevegaslions.com. And, of course, our social media access, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Google+, Periscope.
Periscope.
Yeah. And the catchphrase is The Vegas Lions.
And there are no new social medias because normally we, have 18,000 other, social medias. But
yeah, I've only just grasped the ones that we have. I'm really only using one of those, which is Facebook, which I
still working on that. Yep.
Yeah, and I'm working on that so that it's at least a little bit more current than it. But I actually have been kind of keeping it relatively current.
You've been doing good.
Even
I actually saw you wish someone Merry Christmas,
Yes.
which was huge.
Yeah. You know why?
Not like a mass message, but like at least one person.
And I had to put a reminder in my phone. So it sort of went off on Christmas Day. I was like, oh, got to send that out.
Yeah.
Again, 702-483-4444. So this past Sunday, well, let's start with Thursday.
Yep.
The Thursday night's game was Saturday's was the Redskins and Philadelphia.
Yep.
And, the Redskins, somebody had to win that division. But I will say this, I never thought it would be the Redskins.
Well, Kirk Cousins has been playing out of his mind
he has.
The last couple months and kind of showing like RJ3 that, not necessarily we don't need you.
RJ
sort of
who?
thing. Yeah. So the thing is with him particularly is, he'll have a resume that's going to go out and there's going to be other teams that are going to be interested in him and the Redskins will probably shop him.
Well, they should. And but he's almost become... Bless you. Oh, my goodness. He's almost become an afterthought for somebody who was literally the face of the franchise.
Yep.
And most people, I think, don't realize it, but Cousins was drafted in the 4th round of that same year that they basically sold the ranch to get RG3.
Right.
So you could say at one hand they might be geniuses who said, you know what, we may need to have someone in our hip pocket just in case. Or just like somebody, actually said, did we really draft Cousins? That wasn't the plan initially, but...
Well, I think, Cousins was solid, coming out of Michigan State.
Yeah.
He was a guy that was, was able to, do whatever he needed to do in college.
Right.
And I think that they just didn't want to see him just like go to anyone else. and unfortunately with the East especially, is they will draft players so the other teams in the East don't get them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you look at DeMarco Murray, great example. The Eagles took them away from Dallas, so Dallas wouldn't have an opportunity to have them. So,
yeah, and I on one hand, he is clearly one of the more unhappier campers.
Oh yeah,
in Philadelphia, in a city that, for whatever bizarre reason, as far as the professional teams are concerned, is really going to the dogs. Okay, you have, of course, I was going to say the gold standard, but the brass standard, or lead, as the case may be, of the Philadelphia 76ers.
yeah.
Who did manage to win the
Who's
second game. They're 2-30, I think, now.
Oh, they did win again, right?
Yeah,
I didn't miss that
they
one.
beat the Suns, which
The
now all of a sudden,
Suns.
any team that they beat, their coach is in jeopardy. Now all of a sudden, Hornacek his job is in jeopardy.
As it should be.
Yeah, and so I think that's going to be throughout the year. Then, of course, you have the Phillies, who, after winning a World Series, just literally have collapsed over the years.
Yeah.
And they are mere shells of themselves.
Right.
And of course, the Eagles, who everybody was sort of counting on, to kind of keep the city together. And, I really haven't followed hockey that much, but I'm not sure how the Flyers are doing. But from what
Flyers are, they're a playoff team.
kind of a mid-division.
Yeah.
It's tough to miss the playoffs in the NHL, as it is in the NBA.
Yeah, you get it. There's a big spectrum.
Yeah, it's really tough to miss.
But now
the
that the
playoffs.
Red Wings have joined the East, I mean, it makes it so much more difficult.
It is going to be that much more tougher.
With the longest streak of playoff
With
appearances. Yeah.
Is it Hockey Town USA?
Oh, of course. Come on, you should already know.
But again, some of the games in the NFL were just mind-boggling. As the Bobcat alluded, coming on there, coin toss, overtime, will kick.
Yeah. I personally believe in from the work that I've done to watch that.
Right.
I think it was Belichick's decision to do that.
Well, clearly, yeah.
Everyone wants to blame Slater and kind of throw him under the bus, but in my experience, and this is just from what I've seen, is the white hat will actually go and send somebody to the sidelines so that he knows prior to that coin flip what is it going to happen.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So he'll, whether one of the other teams is going to win or lose and what they want to do. And if you look at Slater's face, when he said we're going to kick, he had this puzzled look on his face. It was like, we're going to kick. Wait, what are we going to do? But Belichick actually come up and admitted that was a defensive strategy.
Yeah.
Just saying that he considered his defense strong.
Right.
But all that aside in the game and everything, I believe that he was putting pressure going on forward on his teams, showing his defense that he has faith in them.
Right.
And when you're a team that's as solid as the Patriots, anything can happen.
And it did.
But there's a lot of playoffs left.
Yeah.
And Belichick's ultimate goal is to be, receiving that Lombardi Trophy. So.
Well, his that's the mindset of the Patriot organization.
Right.
Every year they feel that they should be either in the Super Bowl or certainly winning it.
Yeah.
And, all indications as far as the AFC is concerned, it's going to be a little bit tougher ride this time around.
Right.
But, of course, Carolina lost a game. I expected Atlanta to be a lot more tougher after that, ass whooping they got 2 weeks ago in Carolina. I just didn't expect them to win. Somehow I just thought for sure he's going to pull this game out. Some way, some shape, some fashion. Someone's going to fall down or trip or something, but he is going to make a big play. And
well, I think the officials were on your page because I don't know did you watch the game?
No.
Okay, so in the last series, Carolina did not, get the fourth down conversion actually,
Right.
and Atlanta got the ball back, and Carolina only had one timeout. I was watching the game, so they actually threw two holding penalties on Atlanta, which NFL fans will know. You can call holding on every single play.
Every snap.
But they actually threw it twice, which gave the opportunity for Carolina to get the ball back one more time.
Yeah.
And then, of course, there was a strip sack.
Yeah.
that ended up costing them the game. So, I mean, they did give Carolina one more shot that, like, a lot of other teams wouldn't have got, to go.
So the officials got the memo. Yeah.
They're like, hey, read this. Oh, but if it doesn't happen, then okay,
But
but
let's improvise.
yeah.
And, of course, the Rams, the hottest team in football right now.
Yeah.
The Seahawks.
What, Detroit Lions? Oh.
Yeah, well, I was going to say that. But Detroit came up big. Yeah, the Lions.
Hey,
came up big,
5-2 since a break.
And unfortunately, my Bucks, succumbed to the Bears. Or the Cubs, as I like to call them.
Yeah.
The Cubbies. But I was really surprised because again, I'm thinking, Seattle's going to make a statement after losing in overtime.
Yeah.
Week 1, they're at home. The 12th man and all, and it couldn't be further from the truth.
Yeah.
Now, is that Seattle being brought back down to reality, or is that just a case of we really don't care?
I think it's just getting them ready. I think that the teams losing in the last couple weeks of the season kind of develops them into, the playoff teams. So I think that's, who they're going to be, moving forward.
Well,
I mean, one of the problems with Seattle, just bringing that up is, they've had huge injuries, and the Patriots,
Yeah.
they've had like massive amount of injuries. So it's going to be interesting, going into playoffs.
Well, Arizona made a huge statement yesterday.
Yeah.
In their win over the Packers. It wasn't just a win; it was a pretty
solid
win. Yeah.
I was very happy.
Yeah. Now, is that a case of the Packers are just not what anybody thought they were, or a case of the Arizona is they're just that team?
Well, I think everyone wants to blame Aaron Rodgers for what happened, but the fact that he got knocked down 14 times, he got hit 11 times, he got sacked 9 times. Which basically shows that there's an issue with their blocking schemes.
Clearly.
And when you're going into a game where you're thinking you're going to be protected and you're obviously not, then there's going to be issues. I honestly think the Packers will make adjustments. They have a huge game this week against the Vikings to win the division.
Yeah,
which I'm hoping the Vikings win. Mike Gundry, I'm listening. You owe me lunch. The Vikings win. So
all right, we're going to take our first break. When we come back, we'll continue talking about sports in general, and also get involved in, of course, Southern Nevada sports. You're listening to the Southern Nevada Sports News on Vegas, allnetradio.com. Welcome to the Pride.
You're listening to our friends Bill Miller and Jeff Belknap
on Vegas All Net Radio, the official station for Vegas Lions football.
All right, we are back for round 2 of the Southern Nevada Sports News Show on Vegas, allnetradio.com. My name is Bill Miller. I am one of the hosts of the Southern Nevada Sports News Show. Of course, joining us back co-host Jeff Belknap. And, of course, on the engineer board, Bobcat himself.
Afternoon, everybody.
All right. And, of course, Video John over in the corner. There he is. That's what I'm talking about. Our call-in line, 702-483-4444. 702-483-4444. And we were just talking about some of the NFL games this past Sunday, and of course it was a wild and woolly weekend, and of course everything kind of culminates tonight to the Cincinnati and Denver game, which should be a very good game. Of course, the records kind of speak for themselves, but we'll see what the Andy Dalton-less Bengals can bring down to.
Well, I'm hoping absolutely nothing.
Okay, well, I think I know which way you bet on this.
And no, it's not about a bet. My fantasies come down to tonight.
Yeah.
And all my teams are in, unfortunately, and he has the Bengals defense, and Effort, I believe his last name is, a tight end for Cincinnati, and I'm up by 12, so
okay.
I'm hoping that Denver can score a couple of touchdowns, not give up any defensive touchdowns or special teams like BS or whatever it is. But in the case that does happen, then I will be able to crown myself in one of my leagues. So that's important to me, especially $100, especially the $100 leagues.
Yeah. There's some serious money on the line there.
Yeah, it's always good to cash a check. But in the event that I get the check, but how all that stuff goes.
Well, of course, this weekend is a huge weekend for college sports. We're going into the New Year's, and that means it's time for bowl season. That means at least the bowls that people can really recognize. Bowl season started 2 weeks ago, I think, and with some of the most bizarre bowls I've ever seen with arguably some teams that, to me, to give these young men an opportunity to, extend, especially for the seniors, to extend their, football career. For a lot of them, this is they're going to be taking their last snaps, really.
Sure.
I think it's awesome, but at a certain point, it's like these names are being made up.
What, the Air Ocean Pro Bowl?
Easy now. Easiest one. Yes, folks. One day there will be an Air Ocean Pro Bowl.
I hope there is.
And if it is, it's going to be in Hawaii. I guarantee you.
Oh, that'd be
It'll be in
fantastic.
Honolulu.
Can we do it in Fiji?
Yeah,
Wouldn't it be better?
There's actually a guy in our corporate
Puerto
office
Rico,
in Huntington
maybe?
Beach that's in Fiji now. He went to Fiji with his lady friend for Christmas.
Nice.
Yeah. So,
Air Ocean Pros is Bill Miller's day job, by the way.
Yes. And
So-
one of our corporate sponsors.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. So, and but yeah, the AOP Bowl will definitely be in.
I love it. I
Honolulu.
love the way that sounds.
Who's the most intriguing matchup in terms of the two bowls that, of course, everybody's looking at, the two games, of course, are the semifinal championship
Yep.
games. And how do you see those lining up?
Michigan State against Alabama. If I was a betting man, I'd have to go with Alabama, but my heart's with Sparty, so
Yeah,
I'm gonna ride them up.
I think it's going to be a very, very close game.
Yep.
I think that Michigan State has not gotten to where they are by being patsies.
Yep.
And I think it's going to be very low scoring. And I think that probably whoever has the ball last is going to end up winning that game.
Well, I'm hoping that's the case.
Yeah. Now, of course, the other game is Oklahoma and Clemson.
Yep.
Clemson just doesn't seem like they're getting any respect whatsoever.
Well, I mean, they're an ACC team, so
Yeah.
I mean, who have they really played?
Well,
Silence. Did you hear the silence right there? There was a silence right there. So I mean, think about it. Like the ACC against,
Big 12.
I mean, there's obviously a lot more competition in the Big 12, and Oklahoma not only won a lot of those games, but convincingly won a lot of those games. So
Yeah.
Except
Except the Red River rivalry.
yeah,
Which
Which
I
is
think-
always a big
I think
game.
everybody's still kind of scratching their head over that one.
yeah.
But and if, who do you? So I think you mentioned you see Alabama probably winning that game, close.
Yeah, I don't know if I can lay the.
What about
9.5.
Clemson, Oklahoma? Who do you see coming?
I go as Oklahoma easily. I mean, they win a couple touchdowns.
You think? Oh, so you think they're going to just put it on?
Yeah,
Okay, all right. You heard it here, folks.
I think Clemson is a solid program, but just against Oklahoma, which is a proven program, I think they're going to win easily.
All right, and then of course, then the championship game you're seeing is Oklahoma and Alabama.
Oh man, Michigan State, man.
Okay,
No, I'm gonna still root for Michigan State. I mean,
well, I know who you're going to root for.
anytime I see an M in the beginning, I'm gonna root for
You're
the Michigan.
going to
but-
go for it, Michigan,
Yeah.
Michigan State.
I am not a Spartan fan from from whenever, but
yeah.
if I see them playing any other team, Michigan State, I'm definitely going to root for the Michigan State. So
Hey, listen, there's nothing wrong with that.
yep,
Yeah, I mean, I really do try to root for the Pac-12 teams.
yep.
Fortunately, my Bruins went down in flames.
Oh my
against
gosh!
Nebraska.
Oh, horrible. And honestly, that game came down to a couple of very poor decisions by the quarterback.
And who set a record for a true freshman.
Oh, I thought you set a record for the most bad passes.
Nah, that's good. The chosen one himself. Yeah. But
I was watching the game. I'm like, dude, did you seriously throw that right now? But
I'm so looking forward to his sophomore year.
yeah,
And I think that with the experience that he had this year and as well as he played, again, we're talking about true freshmen, folks. Nobody expected UCLA to do as well as they did this
Right.
year. And I'm really looking forward to their game next year.
well, that is a Nebraska team that knocked off Michigan State.
The
in a
hard way.
Very controversial play. But
really? Is
they're-
that right?
Yeah, their only loss of the season. So, I mean, you got to give the Pac-10 something. I mean,
Well, they
Pac-12
don't put
something.
they don't
because
put an asterisk, next to it.
they probably should, though.
Okay. Let's see how that works now.
This is what you have. This is the problem you have when you have a Big Ten guy and a Pac-12 guy in the same room.
You got two Big Ten guys.
Oh, there we go.
I'm a Buckeye fan.
Yeah.
Oh,
Born-
well, no, you don't.
Born and raised about
you're-
60 miles south, man.
You do not qualify to be on this show.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
Got an update for you real quick.
Go ahead.
Bowl game going on right now. Start of the fourth quarter. It's Minnesota and Central Michigan. And Minnesota, the Golden Gophers up 13-7 over Central Michigan.
And what's the name of the bowl?
I don't have it the faintest
That might be the name of the bowl.
I don't know, Bull.
I don't
I
have
was
the
trying to
faintest
say,
idea.
I don't know. You know what? I went back to view all of these because I was checking on my Ohio Bobcats. They did get beat by Appalachia State. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. We're just they don't. I guess like you said, Coach, they've got so many of these bowls out here. They're just coming up with names of them. You know?
Monday night before the real bowls start.
Yeah, okay.
Bowl. Okay.
All right. We got a guest standing by on the line for you too.
Well, hey, Central Michigan is a solid squad.
Okay.
Minnesota, probably won't pull that one out. But
I don't think so. Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. I actually have seen Central Michigan play,
Yeah.
and they are a solid squad.
and constantly putting guys in the NFL,
Yeah.
especially line guys.
Yeah.
I mean, some about line guys in Michigan that happens, but
I think it's in the
and then
water.
you have Ezekiel. Speaking of your Ohio State Buckeyes,
Yeah. What
getting
is-
caught with like some kind of
Yeah.
whatever it is.
Urban.
Or Brubaker is it's beginning to be known.
Yeah. So he did get caught with some driving on a suspended license.
Yeah.
The beginning of the end, as I like to speak.
Burned that.
When you like declare for the draft and then you immediately go to like your hood route,
Yeah. And then.
and then it's like
I don't have a.
I thought it was good enough for the NFL.
Yeah. How do you think so?
I don't understand this, man. You got multiple millions of dollars to be made, and you just got to screw up, man.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's a good example of that. We were just talking a few weeks back about Justin Blackman
Yeah.
from Oklahoma State.
Yeah.
Got picked up again on another offense.
Oh my goodness.
So he's already been suspended for multiple years, and then another year, and then now it's indefinite from the NFL. I mean, really?
I just don't get it.
Maybe I just want to sell cars.
Hey, look, if I
want
can
to sell
afford a
cars somewhere in
cab,
my life.
I know they can afford a cab. Okay. So please, I mean, I don't understand it. I really don't.
It's absolutely amazing, baffling to me.
But there's somebody there to take that spot, I guarantee you.
Oh, yeah.
Somebody in that practice squad is rubbing his hands together.
Oh, yeah. He's just twiddling his thumbs going, thank you,
and
thank
saying,
you, thank you.
thank you. Yeah. Got a shot.
Right.
So I understand we have a caller?
Yes, sir. On Sprint Line 1 right now, we have Greg from, I believe, Trinity. Jeff said that he was asked to call in today, so we got Greg on the line. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. How are you?
Greg, how you doing, sir?
Good, good. Thanks for having me.
So we met a couple weeks ago or a week and a half ago at the Tarkanian Classic.
Correct.
And you were coaching the Trinity. What is their mascot? I might have missed that.
Thunder.
Wow, Trinity Thunder. I like that.
Yeah. Me
So,
too.
tell us a little bit about the Trinity Thunder. I mean, what do you guys got going on? We're gonna have to take a break shortly, but we want to keep you on after that.
Okay. Well, we're a high school, of course. We're a prep team that travels around the country nationally as a la Finley Prep. We play a pretty grueling schedule, I think. We've played such teams as API out of Texas, which is the team that we played the night that we met.
Right.
We play Hillcrest Academy, Prolific Prep. A lot of these guys that play on this team, like Prolific Prep has a kid by the name of Josh Jackson. He's the #1 kid in the country in 2016. And then Hillcrest has a kid by the name of DeAndre Ayton. He's the #1 player in the country in 2017. So we play teams like that. We're here in Las Vegas, are located at the Heinrich YMCA is our home school. And we have about 100 kids from around the world. Normal classes. We start at 8 and we end at 3. And then, of course, we do a lot of things out in the community with kids from ages 5 to 14.
Greg, can you bear with us a minute? We need to take our second break, but we'd like
Certainly.
you to come back and elaborate a little bit more on Trinity Thunder.
Certainly. Thank
All right.
you.
Thank you, folks. You're listening to Southern Nevada Sports News on VegasAllNetRadio.com. Welcome to the Pride, the Southern Nevada Sports News Show on VegasAllNetRadio.com. My name is Bill Miller, co-host, along with
Jeff Belknap.
And with us on the line, we have Greg of the Trinity Thunder Prep basketball team, high-octane basketball team, based here in Las Vegas. And Greg, thanks for hanging out with us again. We're sorry we had to, to cut you short a little bit earlier, but we absolutely want to find out as much as we can about Trinity Prep. First of all, how can folks get in touch with you? What's the easiest way?
Well, with me, you can either email me or use my cell, which is the cell number is 702-504-8049. The email is lockridgeg@yahoo.com.
Okay. Is that LOCKRIDGEG?
Yes.
At Yahoo.
At yahoo.com. Yeah.
Got it. Okay. So you were talking a bit about your schedule, and you clearly have a pretty, high-octane schedule, much like Finley Prep.
Yes.
And how do you generally go about recruiting the young men for your program?
Actually, I don't recruit. I've not recruited since I've been here. People call me.
Nice.
Nice. Very nice.
Good place to
with
be.
kids. I've been in it such a long time. I've coached all over the world, and so I have friends and friends of friends that call me and say, "Hey, we think we have a kid that can play at a high level." And then the second part of that is that I'm really demanding. Anyone that has seen us or that knows me as a coach knows that I drive them hard. So it's not easy. So people that call me with kids have to be certain that the kid has the drive, the passion, and the desire to be able to give 100% every day.
Well, I think to compete at the level that you do, as well as handle the academic level, you have to be disciplined as well, but on both sides of the ball, not just on the court but off the court.
Yes, and I tell the kids that come, if it were easy, everyone could do it.
That's right.
But it's not easy. So for that reason, anything worth having, I think, requires a bit of hard work,
Mm-hmm. And that's why me and Bill have this radio show.
Yeah, exactly right.
It's a lot of work.
Well, what do you see as really the biggest challenge to your program?
The grueling schedule. We start at 6 a.m. Most mornings, and we train from 6 to 7:30, and then the kids shower and they go to class with the normal lunchtime and break. Between 8 and 2, they attend those classes. At 2:15, we're back on the floor again. And then at 4, the kids clean up and shower, and by 4:30, they're headed out to do service camps for kids from ages 5 to 14.
Fantastic.
Outstanding.
And we do those camps Monday through Friday for about an hour and 15 minutes. And then it's off to do the homework and dinner, and then shower and back up again the next morning for the same thing.
So I did notice when you guys were walking off the court, a lot of guys speaking in different languages.
Yes.
And I was trying to understand, but being the guy that I am. Tell us about who you recruit and what countries they're from.
Well, again, haven't started recruiting yet. Hopefully, one day I'll be able to recruit. But kids are sent to me from various countries: Turkey, from Puerto Rico, Canada, Jamaica, just to name a few. New York City. Texas,
which is kind of like Jamaica, right?
It just depends on the part of New York City that you go to.
Right.
It can be
Crown
considered
Heights.
international
Right.
as well. So yeah, but that's just some of the areas in which we get kids. We get them from all over the world, actually.
Okay.
That's fantastic.
And where have some of the young men that have gone through your program, settled at in terms at the collegiate level?
This is our third year. Our first year we didn't have any seniors. Last year we had four, and one's at Fresno State University, another's at Baker University, another kid's at Texas Pan American, and then the fourth kid is actually attempting to play professionally in his home country of Australia.
Oh, nice.
All right.
So far this year, we've got a kid signed with Duquesne University out of the Atlantic 10, and we've got 3 or 4 that are on the radar, just haven't made a decision yet. But they'll all be Division I kids.
Excellent.
Yeah. Well, Duquesne is it's not an easy school to get into.
No.
So it says
isn't.
a lot about your program, Coach.
Yeah, well, thank you. I appreciate that. We have a pretty high standard. We require progress reports academically every Friday. I accept B's as in boy, but I prefer A's. C's you can't get on the floor with a C.
Well done, Coach. Well done.
Just so hard for kids that really don't have the academic background. Then it becomes a crapshoot, and we kind of like a sure thing. So
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
So you play your games out of
the Heinrich YMCA is where we play our home games. That's at 4141 Meadows Lane, right across from the Meadows Mall. Our school is also in the YMCA, so. It's really been a great partnership between the Y and our school. The school used to be called Trinity Christian. It was a part of the Trinity Church. And
that's right. Yeah.
then the church decided they didn't want to have a school anymore, and parents got together and decided they didn't want the school to end years ago, and they turned it into Trinity International and opened it up to kids from around the world. Prior to moving to the Y, there was a building on Sahara that Trinity used to run their classes out of, and I knew the CEO from the Y, and then I put him together with the director of Trinity Schools, and it was a match made in heaven.
Awesome.
Literally
made in heaven with the Trinity.
Yeah, you're not kidding. No pun intended.
No pun intended.
Well, I was looking for a landmark, and then when you mentioned where it was, and by the Meadows Mall, then I knew exactly where you were talking about.
Yes.
How many seniors do you have this year?
5.
5 seniors. Okay.
Yeah, and we hope to place every last one of them. As I said, one signed in November. He was the easy one. Actually, came to us as a 5-man last year, and we turned him into a 2.
Nice.
It's more intriguing to be a 6'8" to coaches around the country than a 6'8"
Yeah,
so
you're not kidding.
It's an easier sell, and then to his credit, he was able to put in the work, both academically as well as athletically, and then of course he had some natural gifts that we were able to put on display, and we've got 4 more. And we think that they're good as well. And it's just a matter of time before we make 4 more selections as to where we're going to go to school.
Well, knowing how important it is academically with a lot of these, players. I mean, how do you keep them focused? Especially in a where it's not necessarily a classroom setting like most high school students go through. How is it that you keep them focused and understanding that basketball might only be 3 to 5 years of their life, possibly moving forward.
Certainly, for us, actually, it is a classroom setting. We have some excellent teachers. It's a normal school where they have to be in classes 50 to 55 minutes a day. we don't allow a lot of extracurricular activity, and that's one of the things that a family has to decide that they want to buy into when they come. The kids stay in houses that are monitored. They don't get to go to the movies that often. If they have a good week on Sunday, we take them to the movie as a group. But there's no freelance. There's no extracurricular activity other than what we provide as a group. But it's all business, and when you make an investment in your future, when you travel thousands of miles to try to accomplish a goal, you have to be willing to make the sacrifices, and it's not for everybody, as I say. There are a lot of kids that just want to do regular high school stuff, regular student stuff. We do attend the events at the school, the prom and Mercedes and those kinds of things. So we participate there. But other than that, there's not a lot of room for extracurricular things.
So have they seen Star Wars?
Pardon me?
Have they seen Star Wars yet or no?
They have not.
Oh no!
And I'm certain that'll be one on the list when they return. But we start up again January 4th, and then it's like a week and a half to 2 weeks of hard training camp. I'm an ex-Marine, or I should say I'm a Marine. They say once a Marine, always
there you go.
a
Yes, sir.
Marine. So my training
John Styles just approved
methods
that.
are pretty strong, pretty tough, and they're pretty tired afterwards. But that's how we prepare ourselves night in and night out to compete for the winner's circle.
All right. Well, Greg, thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to give us a call today.
Thank you.
And we obviously in the future we'd like to to continue to monitor the Trinity Thunder.
Yes,
and
sir.
Invite you on to the show. And again, thank you so much for calling in.
Thank you.
Folks,
You for having me.
You've been listening to Greg Lockridge of Trinity Prep Thunder basketball team here in Las Vegas. We're going to take our last break, and when we come back, we'll be joined by in-studio guests. You're listening to the Southern Nevada Sports News Show on VegasAllNetRadio.com. Welcome to the Pride. All right, we are back for the knockout round of Monday's edition of Southern Nevada Sports News on VegasAllNetRadio.com. My name is Bill Miller. I am co-host along with
Jeff Belknap.
And in studio we have...
Come on.
Okay. Keep it short and to the point. Huh? Hey, thank you, young man, for joining us. We appreciate it.
Not a problem.
All right. Well, this is the segment of the show where we dedicate a good chunk of it to our resident prognosticator himself.
Yep.
Yeah, Jeff the Greek Belknap. And we're also going to have some contributions from our in-studio guests.
Yes,
he's
sir.
because Jeff put him on notice. You got to have those picks
Yep,
ready.
I told him
rock.
get them ready right now.
What are we going to start with, Gentlemen College, or are we going to go directly to the pros?
Well, I mean, mainly because the pros are, playoff picture is almost set. So, I'm going to go right for the juggler.
All
With
right.
the,
What's
with the
our
pros.
first game?
So, obviously, the two teams that have to win this week to secure their spots, because Pittsburgh is right behind them, are the KC and the Jets. So I will be rooting for Buffalo because I would like to see Pittsburgh make it. So I'm going to take Pittsburgh. I'm going to go ahead and lay the points with Cleveland because they're actually at Cleveland laying the 10 points. I think that they are going to cover that 10 points and above that. They kind of laid an egg against the Ravens this week, and which was not one of my picks, by the way. But I really thought that they would win that game going into this week. They would be in a firm position to secure their game in the playoffs or their team in the playoffs. But the AFC is tough right now. I mean, the teams that are going to the playoffs are going to be at least 10-win teams, like all of them.
Right.
Which is not the case in the NFC. But going into the NFC, I am going to take Jared.
Go ahead.
Minnesota Vikings. I'm gonna take the Minnesota Vikings. I knew this guy would be. He's waiting. He's like, don't say it. Don't say it. Don't say it.
Yeah, let's go.
But this gentleman is with us today. Is a huge Packers fan,
That's right.
and he was kind of ribbing me a couple weeks ago when the Lions, lost that game in the last play of the game. But unfortunately, I don't think you're going to be able to pull it out this week. I think that Minnesota's going to come. I think Minnesota's going to come with it.
You know, it's only fitting that that is the last regular season home game of the season. And so obviously you're going with the Packers.
Correct.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
He's hoping he doesn't get sacked 9 times.
Yeah.
Well, once they manage to get Rodgers out of the ice bath, which is probably sometime tomorrow, he'll be able to actually practice, and he's got a few more extra hours on Sunday to get ready. Yeah.
So what did you think about that Arizona game?
Oh man, it wasn't too good at all.
It's probably tough to watch, huh?
Yeah, it was. It was
For you, but for me, I was like, yes.
No, I
Get
got to
him,
ask you
get
this. Since
him.
you're a Packers fan, do you have a cheesehead?
Yeah, I do actually. Yeah.
Oh wow,
My
okay.
man, you are a fan. Okay.
You know what? If they win, if they go to playoffs, we're gonna invite you back, and you can wear the cheese head.
All right, sounds
All right,
good.
so-
Even better, you should wear the
No,
cheesehead.
no,
I
no,
think you
no,
should
no,
wear-
no, no. That will be a
I think-
bet.
I think so.
That'll be a bet, and if I
lose,
lose, I'll wear the cheese head. But that'll be a dark day in HELL before I wear a cheese head.
Oh, well, it seems to me that you got to put a little skin in the game, my man.
All right. Well, I'm willing to bet, but so you want to go this week? You want to go?
We can take a gentleman's bet for that.
Yeah, I can do that.
All right. You
So
heard
I'm
it here,
taking Green
folks.
Bay. I already have an expensive lunch on that game, but I'll take it with you also.
All right. What's your other pick for the NFL for that weekend?
Me, I'm taking with the Patriots and the Dolphins.
Yep.
I think that's going to be a pretty good game. I think Tom Brady is going to go ahead and pull it off and finish the season strong. The Panthers are looking really good this year as well. They play the Bucks,
Yep.
so I don't think that's too much of a challenge for Cam.
I don't think so
I
at
think
all.
they'll bounce back.
And I'm a Buccaneer fan, huge Buccaneer fan. But well before Cam, the Carolina Panthers owned the Buccaneers. Going back to Delhomme.
Yep. Jake Delhomme.
Yeah, Jake Delhomme.
Jake the Snake.
Yeah, they owned the Tampa Bay
Well,
Buccaneers.
speaking about that, hopefully Rick is listening. He actually made a bet with me on air, bet that he was going to take me out to lunch if Adrian Pearson did not lead the NFL in rushing. Well,
Really?
last night he took the lead,
Yeah.
and he's got like a 70-yard lead on your boy Doug Martin.
Right.
So he's got a big nut to cover, that 7.5. Or 70, I think it's 78 yards or whatever it is.
Yeah. Well, good luck for him to get it against Keachley and company.
Right.
Yeah. That's
Which is the number 6, which was what I was trying to tell Rick. That's the number 6 rushing defense
Yeah.
in the league, and of course the Packers are against the rush are around 23, 24 or so. So I did all my stats. That's how I do all my my bets and everything. So I think I'm in a good spot, but we'll see if. He did try to butter me up by offering me a Christmas gift, so we'll see what that is.
Ooh, well, yeah, he did try to butter you up. All right. All right. So, and of course, I too see the Patriots over the Dolphins,
Yeah.
and I also see the Packers over the Vikings.
What?
Yeah,
What is happening here? It's conspiracy.
No, I just see it as being, I think it's going to be probably the coldest day of the year.
Well, it was 13 degrees last night.
Yeah. And that was in Minnesota.
Yep.
Yeah. Wait till you get it, up to, the land of enchantment.
Lambeau,
Yeah.
Frozen tundra.
The frozen tundra. Yeah.
All right. Any more NFL picks, or are we going to go to college?
I think a game to watch this week is a good one is going to be Seattle and Arizona. I think that's going to be a good one. I think I'm going to go ahead and take Seattle with that one. Just like the way they've been playing lately, but I think with the Cardinals, their hair's going to be a little too big.
Lately, or as of
Just lately.
yesterday?
Just lately.
This lately, okay.
Well, the Cardinals to me have been solid all year long, so that should be a good game. That's the type of game I would stay away from.
Yeah.
As far as betting wise.
Yeah, I see the Cardinals bringing out the absolute best in the Seahawks. Yeah, but to me, the Cardinals are probably the most underrated team this year in the NFL.
Absolutely. Who's been talking about it?
Yeah.
I mean, you got a 37-year-old quarterback.
Yeah.
No one wants to talk about those old guys.
Yeah.
So you guys don't have any opinion about the Lions and the
Bears? The Bears. Now, I'm going to go with Detroit. I think there's a lot of history to that rivalry.
Yeah.
I mean, these are two of the NFL darlings, huge fan bases.
Yeah.
And I think it's an all-out, grudge match. And I'm going to go with Detroit. Detroit to me has the hot hand.
I mean, with Jim Bob Cooter at the helm,
Jim Bob Cooter,
5-2. What do you think about that? I mean, they pretty much turned around with their OC.
And of course, that one of those losses was the the Hail Mary.
Yeah, that garbage
or
loss.
Hail Aaron.
Obviously, to a garbage team.
Ooh, ouch! Boy, I tell you, you're sitting there with that cheese head on there. That's
Shots fired.
Incoming.
Hey, I'm not saying that Aaron Rodgers is a bad quarterback. I'm just saying that anytime if you looked at statistic and said a team led for 60 minutes of a game, then you wouldn't consider that to be a win, right? But the Lions literally led for 60 minutes of the game.
It was a
and
game
still
that
lost
I
the game.
had turned off,
Right.
Because I think that at one point, I think they were going into halftime, was it 20-0?
Yep, 20-0.
20-0. And I said, well, there's no reason for me to continue. And Packers hadn't been playing great ball. I just thought, well, this is another one they had mailed in.
Yeah.
And then the next morning, I read about it. Come back the Miracle, Motor City, and all this. I'm going like, what? And I say it could only happen to Detroit. And then I was thinking maybe I should call you to get you off the ledge.
No.
Because and
believe me, nothing in
let me leave
football
him
is
alone.
ever that serious anymore. Probably like 10 years ago, my life was more seriously revolved around football. But at this point, it's like these guys are a bunch of dummies anyway. So. Most of them can't even keep themselves out of jail. Yeah, I think this was 2015 was the lowest arrest rate.
Yeah, and that's not saying much. And then they picked up two guys. Was it two Cleveland Browns? One guy was off the practice squad, and another one, I think it was like Saturday night.
Yeah.
Yeah, and one had Adderall, didn't have a prescription for, and another one had a gun, apparently didn't have a permit for, and they're flying around town. Yeah. I'm thinking why don't you just paint a bullseye, on your car and say, pull me over. Yeah, I can see this coming.
Yeah.
And I just
it shows that money doesn't buy happiness, right?
Well, it may buy some happiness, but it doesn't necessarily buy common sense.
It doesn't buy a prescription for Adderall?
And common sense is, no, apparently it doesn't. You think you might be able to get one, get a kit or something to type it on there, but I don't know.
You sort of think that they would have learned over the Plexico burst thing with a gun, too. You don't be walking around with a gun with no permits and no nothing, then, shoot yourself in the leg.
Don't shoot yourself.
Yeah, I mean,
don't wear sweatpants
That's
to
the key.
a club, and then don't have a loose pocket and let it drop and shoot yourself in the leg. You're headed in sweats to the VIP area of a club with a gun.
You make more money than all of us in this room ever thought about dreaming. You can hire a professional bodyguard escort service to protect you that are licensed to carry guns, okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
That just shows you that politicians are smarter than athletes.
Okay. In what case is that?
And with that, and I think we're finally coming to the end of another installment of the Southern Nevada Sports News.
21-14, guys. Minnesota over Central Michigan with about 2 minutes, 4 seconds to play in the game.
Come on.
Right. Come on, Minnesota, hang on for the Big Ten's sake. Damar, thank you very much, young man, for joining in.
Not a problem. Thank
Be
you
sure
for
to bring
having me.
that cheese head.
Will do, definitely.
And to our board operator, the Bobcat himself, thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Have a great
John
day.
on video. Greg Lockridge of Trinity Thunder Prep School. And on behalf of myself, Bill Miller, Jeff Belknap, tune in next Monday, 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time for another installment of the Southern Nevada Sports News on VANR, VegasAllNetRadio.com. Welcome to the Pride.